Hi there, welcome to week 5 of our Grid Design Every Week segment. Today we're going to do one that I've just called the Scalloped Clamshell. It's easy, it's a variation on a clamshell, but it's done completely differently than clamshells, but it ends up looking like them. And you'll notice if you get into these grid designs that they are all, not all of them, but a lot of them are related to each other, and it's just kind of neat. I think if you have a math brain, you start noticing those things. But this one's called the Scalloped Clamshell, so come on over and I'll show you how to do it. All right, so this ends up being a little bit bigger than our 1/2-inch grid, so and it looks, you have to do it on a diagonal grid. So I've marked a 1/2-inch diagonal grid, and you notice I've drawn a little block around here just to give us some parameters and keep us in line. Now let me draw a little bit. What I want you to think about is these scallops have to go on all your diagonal grids going one way. All of your little scallops are going to be to one side of the grid, and all the diagonals going the other way, your scallops will be on that side. So keep that in mind. Don't switch the side of your scallops or your grid design won't work out. Alright, so we're going to just start here. And this one's going to be continuous, just like some of our others. And you won't really see the design coming together until we start having our lines intersecting each other. So here's what you want to do. You want to have 2 little bumps in one grid block. Now we're going to go on a diagonal line going the other way. So you want to keep these little bumps small. These little scallops. Let me get rid of my threads. Can't handle those threads being there. Alright, we're up to a corner, so I'm going to travel over to my next diagonal line. And remember, all the scallops on all these diagonal lines going this direction are going to be on the same side of that line. And if you don't know what I mean, in other words, you wouldn't want your scallops on this side of the line. If you do that, you're going to come up with a different design, which is something you might want to play with and see what happens. But for today's purposes, we're going to keep them all on the same side of the line. And again, these are fun because until you finish your design, you don't always know what the finished product's going to look like. And then when you get done, it's kind of like, ooh, look at that. It's really, it's fun to see the final outcome. And I didn't have these done in a quilt to show you in advance what it's going to look like, so you're going to have to wait and be surprised at the end. Now I'm going to go, since I'm up here, I'm going to go down this line. Now I have to think, okay, our scallops are going to the right side of the lines that are going in the other direction. Okay, here we are. We can go back this way now. So again, aiming for the intersections, keeping your scallops consistent in size. All those things are key to successful designs. Now we've got a line going the other way, so our scallops go to the right side of that line. And now you're going to start to be able to see what the finished design looks like. All of these designs look really pretty on patchwork. If you have a border or some sashing with 1-inch patchwork squares, this kind of thing looks beautiful in those, as well as a background design. A lot of times people wonder, how should I quilt these little squares? Well, all of these grid designs work beautifully in patchwork. Okay, where do we want to go? Let's go over here. Okay, let's see, we've got that line's done, so we'll travel up here and go down here. You can see how the design is starting to take shape and why I call them scalloped clamshells. Alright, what do we have to do? We've got a line over here and one down here. So let me travel over here. We're almost done. So I'm using silk thread, 100-weight silk thread. I like to use it on these small background designs because it's such a fine thread, and you don't have a real thready, heavy thread buildup with it. And sometimes you have a lot of backtracking on some designs, so you want a fine thread so that you don't see all that thread buildup. You see the design but not the thread. Okay, we've got one more line to do and I believe we're going to be done. Let's see. All right, that's it. Let's take a look at the back and see how that turned out. Let's see. All right. So here's our design. Isn't that beautiful? How it all came together. So those are scalloped clamshells. And it's as easy as that. Okay. So, hope you liked that design. I think it's fun and pretty. Remember my grid design workbook if you want more lengthy, detailed instructions on how to do some of these grid-based designs. Also, I've got some good news to share. I've been working with the Stencil Company and they're doing pre-printed panels of pre-marked grids. So if you get tired of marking your own practice pieces, you'll be able to buy them from my website. They're 20 by 20 inch grids. I'm going to have half-inch horizontal, vertical, diagonal grids, and so those will be available very soon on my website. So check it out, quintessentialquilting.com, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye.